let's go into some of these best performances, right? So we had Ross, Pay for Less, Tesla, right? Airbnb and PayPal. Now, here's what I will say about PayPal. Now, here's what I will say about this, about PayPal. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this. I still love PayPal over Square, but I will say I'm getting my butt whipped in PayPal. Right? I am getting my butt whipped in PayPal. I bought it at a discount, which is at 120, which is what my triple beam said. And then it went down, and the triple beam said it again. It was worth 65. But when it got to 120, it got to 85. I bought more at 85, and then I was able to bring my cost basis down. But I will say this, PayPal is up 23% in the month of September. So let me give a little explanation about how I feel about PayPal, why I love it, and I will say my mistakes, because I'm built like that, right? I still am a huge fan of, I took a $100,000 loss on a PayPal options contract, I will say that. But I have actually made myself and my students money otherwise. But I took a loss on PayPal with the options contract, but in my position in my long term, I still hold it, I still own it, and I'll talk about it a little bit. PayPal is up 23% just from the month of September. The stock has a $97 billion market cap. Here's what we saw with PayPal. The accelerated growth and profitability. Profitability grew, acceleration grew. They have the best balance sheet in the fintech space. I'll say that again. It has the best balance sheet in the fintech space, right? It increased margin transactions. It did a $15 billion buyback, right? Now watch this. It has more active accounts than any other platform inside of the fintech space, right? It has 492 million accounts. It is ranked 17 amongst most actively held stocks by hedge funds, right? Their new reward program combines cash rewards to shoppers, right? It helped improve their balance sheet and their customer loyalty, right? So I 100% love the idea of this brand moving forward. It is up 23% in September, 100%. It's up 23% in September. For September, it went up 23%. It went, it got down to 71, $68, something like that. And it came back because what they did was they changed. So PayPal's story was they stopped recruiting new customers, and they started working on just improving the points, the rewards, the loyalty between active consumers. Because the number one rule in business is it's easier to keep a customer that's already there than to go out and get a new customer. So it's one of the number one, it's top 5 rules in business, right? So PayPal said, okay, what we're gonna do is work on giving our active accounts better experience with the platform. I wasn't tripping on, that loss, because the one thing about playing a game is, yes, I did lose $100,000 on that option play, actually like $105 on that option play, but I've had $100 and something thousand day before in the market. That comes with the game. And you still learn, you keep growing, it happens. All right, I was okay with it. We moving on. But what I cannot deny is, the stock is down currently 62% on the year, and it has new competition from Apple Pay, Visa, and MasterCard. But what PayPal does focus on, what I love is they focus on business accounts, right? Business account. Business accounts. And they're growing that, so that's amazing. But here's what I want to talk about. When we look at that, and we look at Square, so I look at Square and I say, okay, I personally don't like the company's balance sheet at all. And even though Cash App was its bell cow, what I did realize was Zelle took that spot from them. So when we talk about that, we talk about Zelle. So Zelle is owned by these 7 banks: Bank of America, Capital One, JP Morgan, PNC, Truist, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. These companies came together and I forgot the company that owns the brand. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But they came together and created this union of Zelle, right? And so now Zelle became the largest peer-to-peer digital payment network to date, with over 500 billion transactions used by over 1,200 financial institutions that use in that Zelle ecosystem, right? It's the largest peer-to-peer network to date. And I'm saying that because when I look at Cash App, we like, yo, Cash App. That was 100% the bell cow for Square. But now Zelle, because of the now 7 companies that use it, and you can Zelle across different networks. So if I got Chase and you got Wells Fargo or one of these, I can still Zelle you. You feel what I'm saying? I can still Zelle you. I can go Chase to Chase. I can still Zelle you your money. So Zelle it took that #1 spot, again, as the largest peer-to-peer network to date. And so now I ask myself now, again, it's just me. Yes, Square has, some growth in it. Again, I did pick PayPal early in the year to outperform Square. They both have taken the ass whooping like crazy. I'm in it. It is a 5-year play for me. But what I will say is, if I am wrong, I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong. I believe in the company. This recession, I called it in the beginning of the year. That's my first post of the year. I said I like PayPal to outperform Square, but I also said on my first post of the year, January 1, I said that this will be a year where we see an economic downturn. This was my first post of the year. But I had to average into it. I got in at 120 PayPal. I had to average into it again at 85. So I'm kind of in that space right there with it. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. But I will say that I still love fintech. I do believe on the backside of this, I do believe, because one thing we cannot deny is the way that we use money is changing. Right? When you talk about the PayPals, the Squares, the Cash Apps, when we talk about the Apple Pay, when we talk about Apple with Goldman Sachs, when we talk about Klarna, when we talk about Stripe, when we talk about all these different ways, being able to get a mortgage, through an app, being able to get your car through an app. When we talk about being able to pay debt through an app, we talk about companies like Bill.com, which was another company I talked about that's killing it, right? We talk about so many different ways that we are transforming how we're using money. I'm still a heavy believer in fintech. I actually bought more PayPal later on, so I just believe in it. I believe PayPal will 100% change the dynamics of how we use money. I'm not the person that says cash is dead, because cash, people say, we're not gonna use cash anymore. Well, it still has to have monetary value. But what I will say is, I believe that in 3 to 5 years, that that fintech will 100% be the face of banking. And you're gonna see a lot of banking systems collaborate and find ways to get into that fintech space. So I'm still a firm believer in it. I live it, I love it.